No, I didn't, but I'm not upset about that. Good people won. I'm happy with the winners. So
The level of polish that AstroKid users put into their games now is for an old gentleman such as myself is
what he says, anyways.
other Alex will be here. Not hi Alex in chat, but other Alex will be here.
I'll be right back. One moment while we're waiting.
Sounds good. There he is.
Hello, everybody. I am back.
Did you miss him? Did you miss him? Make some noise in the chat. Did you miss
Yeah,
him?
come on, let me hear it, guys. How's it going, everybody? B Little asks a very good question. Who am I? Who are any of us, really?
I always wanted to ask chat to make some noise. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, chat. Stormjaeger also raises a very good question. So how's it going? How's everyone been doing? You missed 2 days, and it's like the whole world changes, so...
I mean, AstroKid is still not on fire, so I'm pretty sure Toxic, myself, and Pika did a decent job. And and Manvi was
I
okay.
gave you guys a full 2 days to burn it down. You still haven't gotten around to that. Come on, guys.
I didn't get the memo, I guess.
Cool. By the way, I'm hearing a major echo in the background.
Oh, let me mute myself, maybe.
I don't know. It's funny. It sounds like I'm on a TV in the background of someone's room. Like it sounds a distant echo. We burned it a little, got more limits in place. Okay, sounds good, Erica. Glad to hear it.
Oh, look who decided to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome. How was your
It's
time
great
off?
to be back, everybody. Oh, sorry. Say that again.
How was your time off? Everything
was good. I was
Excellent.
at a secret, undisclosed Astrocade research site looking at the latest top secret technology. Can't talk about what I saw, but it was very impactful.
So
Nice. So we have good things in the
basically.
future, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Cool. Well, I say we jump right back in where we left things. Actually, before I get into that though, how were our full-time faculty replacements while I was gone? How'd it go, guys?
I think it went pretty well.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking the chat.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm
Somebody
asking.
mute me. Somebody mute me, please.
No. I want to hear everyone. And yeah. Oh, Erica mentions the AMA. I heard that went pretty well yesterday.
So no horn tooting, Toxic.
No, please. I want to hear it all.
I want to hear. Just gotta take it.
I want to hear the self-praise, and I want to hear the.
Professor T knows all.
No duding either.
So I think the consensus is it was there. I'm a bad student.
I mean, nobody cried. Nobody was hurt. The ambulance wasn't called. The police as well. So I think it went well.
Excellent. Good to hear. Okay. Well, we are back to normal as of today. Well, there's a difference between an ambulance and a wambulance, and I reserve the right to keep the latter on call. You never know. Okay, well, how about this then? If there is no other urgent business to attend to, we can jump into another lesson, do another, like maybe even set a timer and shoot for like a 10-minute overview of a lesson, and then just catch up on playtesting. I shouldn't say catch up. I know you guys have been doing a good job, but we had the AMA yesterday, so maybe we can do a nice solid hour of playtesting.
I know that we have a few students that have already finished the curriculum, and they've come to me wondering what they're supposed to do next. I've just basically told them that they're done with the curriculum and just be at academy, right? There's nothing left to do afterwards.
Yeah, so the way it works is the curriculum is there to make sure that you know all the stuff that we want you to know. meaning, the kind of the do's and don'ts, mostly don'ts. It has much more to do with what you shouldn't do than what you should do, but that's very important. So when you've got the curriculum down, the whole purpose of the course is to put that into a game, right? As B Little says, just work on your games, guys. Erica, so unfortunately, I lost 2 days, so I'm a little bit behind. But what we are back to work on this week is integrating all of the Astro Academy content into the website itself. It'll be built right in. It'll be very accessible, and there will be a couple, not necessarily full lessons, but there will be some expansions to the curriculum. None of it is like essential. It's not like you guys are missing anything that you need to know to make games, but it'll expand on a few things, provide some more examples. There's some kind of fun stuff to share. But everything you guys need to make good games, you've already got, so it'll just be in a more convenient form. But yeah, the real point of Astro Academy is by the end of this week. So even though technically it's over tomorrow, we go to like Wednesday to Wednesday to Wednesday. It's 2 weeks separated by Wednesdays. I like to just round it up to Friday. So we'll go through the rest of the week. And then next week is probably when we'll start talking about graduation and reviewing everyone's games. So you've got through the end of this week to do all your work, and then next week we'll just talk about where to go from here. And we try to keep it informal. It's not like an actual school in that there's like a drop dead date where if you didn't get it in by now, you don't graduate. We never want to be that strict. So let's shoot for Friday. And then kind of have a grace period through the weekend and all that kind of stuff. But yes, the real ultimate goal for Astro Academy is to finish your game. And the purpose of that game is to take everything you've learned in the lessons and put it to use. That's basically it. So for anyone that's gone through the curriculum, that's great. You are now free to just wrap up your class project. But as Toxic mentioned, we don't just want you to attend office hours for the sake of attending it. We want you to show up, share your games, ask questions, that kind of stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. Cool. Well, how about this? I will jump into a lesson. As always, Noxic and Jaeger are welcome to ask questions and cut in and share thoughts. It's really great to make these little lesson summaries more of a conversation than a lecture. Of course, the chat is welcome to ask questions as well. I will check on you guys. And then we'll do playtesting as usual. Oh, Gamers asked a good question. Why does it take so long for a game to be published? There are two answers to that question. One, the answer that I thought was the only answer up until today, which is that we just have a ton of new games. It's something like 1,000 games are published every single day. So there's a long process to get all those things quality assured. So we know for a fact that they will basically run okay on your device and not crash your computer or mine for Bitcoin or whatever. That's one of the things. The other thing though is we did find out that there was some kind of a bug in our QA process that was actually making it even longer. So that bug has been fixed. So even though we still have a crazy backlog, that part sucks. There's just not much we can do about that other than hiring more people, which we are doing. We did also cut out a big part of that delay by just solving a tech problem. I don't know the details. I just know that that was solved as of today.
We also reduced the amount of games that are allowed to be published every day to help reduce that load on the review process. So it's been reduced from 5 to 3, and that includes remixes. So it's only 5 or 3 per day, including a remix.
And I am not aware of paid wishes. I don't think I was gone that long. Jeez.
No, there's no paid wishes. They were just talking about it in AMA. Someone had asked a question, so it got brought up.
Got it. Yeah, no. Starting tomorrow, you guys are going to have to pay $100 per wish. But don't worry, that doesn't start till tomorrow. You probably shouldn't do stuff like that. But nobody stops me. So other Alex, lesser Alex, knockoff, counterfeit Alex says, guys, sorry when I joined like a week ago. Hey, come on, Dino. What is with our moderator bot thing? Alex, I don't think you're spamming. Anyway, says when I joined that's true. Maybe he's greater Alex. That's a possibility. He has a capital A and I don't. He says, when I joined like a week ago, the Academy was already on to join the next season. First of all, yes, you certainly can, but we give Astro Academy really more time than we need, right? And so if you haven't already been going through the lessons, please dive into them as soon as you can. They really don't take long. If you're going through them even at a moderate pace, it shouldn't take more than a couple days to get through them. So honestly, if you want to do it, you've still got most of the week. If you want to participate this time around, read the lessons and make a game by the end of the week and you're done. That's basically it. So I would advise you do it now if you can. But yes, of course, you're more than welcome to join next time as well. Ashley F says, how many students will pass the game making exam? You're welcome. So there is no exam. There's no actual test. It's not like there's like an exit exam for Astro Academy or anything like that. The exam effectively is the game. We have those little quizzes that are built into some of the lessons, but those quizzes are really more for you than for us. It's just meant to be a way to make sure that whatever key concepts were in those lessons that you retained them, that you didn't miss anything important. That's really all they're there for. But you're not being graded on your quizzes or anything like that. It really is the games that we care about. So anyone that submits a game will graduate provided the game is playable, isn't broken, and passes at least some basic bar of understanding. Like if for instance, we'll talk about today a game on optimizing download times. If you publish a game that has a 10-minute download time, then okay, I guess you didn't do it right. But generally speaking, provided you don't make some huge mistake like that, any reasonable attempt at making a game that uses what you've learned in the lessons is considered valid graduation. So we really want everyone to learn everything you can and put all the work you can into your games, but at the same time, we don't want people like sweating, like there's this really precise set of requirements, and if you don't live up to it, you fail. It's not like that. Okay, good questions. Keep them coming. With that in mind, let's jump into a lesson, and this will, I think, make all of this feel a little more real, because right now it's all very abstract, hand-wavy. So let's get to it. Okay, so we've been doing every day for people that have not been joining us. We've been doing a kind of a quick overview of the lesson material, one a day for the last week or so. So today we're going to talk about lesson 7, which is optimizing your game's download time. This may seem kind of dry. It may not seem as exciting as stuff like coming up with a game mechanic or adding juice and stuff like that. But it really is one of the most important things you can learn as an Astrocade creator. And there's a couple reasons for that. One is, nobody likes waiting for downloads. So just in general, that's obviously a good thing. If you can make your game load quickly, that's great. But it really is more important than that, because we have players all over the world. We are huge in a lot of countries that are not exactly known for their like amazing internet infrastructure. And so a lot of our most dedicated players, which is your audience as a game creator, are loading your games in parts of the world where things that you may think download quickly, I'm assuming you're living in an area that does have fast download time, is not reliable necessarily in other parts of the world. So understanding a few things, how to diagnose your own game's download time, and then how to fix it if it's slow, is essential. It's really, really important. And I can tell you that from experience because, in fact, we'll see one of my own games that I made a very long time ago when I was very young and very reckless and I had not yet been schooled in the ways of download optimization, and it is a bloodbath. It doesn't matter how good your game is. If it takes too long to download, people simply are not going to play it, and you will see that reflected in your game's performance. So one thing that almost all of our most successful games have in common is, if not great download time, at least good download time. Generally speaking, none of the successful games in Astrocade take a long time to download. And in fact, I'm sorry, I always put DJam on the spot because he's one of our resident game experts. I think he was the first creator to ever go, to 1 million plus. He's been making these insane games that are really, really high quality for a long time now. But his first big hit is a game that is still in the Player's Choice category, I think, actually, called Tanker Arena. It was maybe Astrocade's first big breakout hit game. And even though it is an excellent game, it's just overall really, really well made. One of, I think, its great secrets is that it downloads very, very quickly. And so at a time when nobody was thinking about download optimization, this Tanker Arena game was also, in addition to being just a good game, was downloading so fast that people all over the world could get to it immediately. And so we've long believed that that was one of the reasons why that game became such a big success so early on. And I think that to this day, it is still a really important thing to know that your game simply doesn't matter if people don't get a chance to play it. You can put all the bells and whistles you want. It won't make a difference if people don't stick around long enough to experience it. So let's talk a little bit about how to make sure your games download fast. Okay, by the way, this ties back into some of the terminology from previous lessons, FTUE and TTF. And in case anyone wasn't here for those lessons, FTUE means first time user experience. It's the term we use to describe what a user sees for the first time when they play your game. And then TTF, which is closely related, means time to fun. And that is how many seconds it takes from the time the game starts before the player does something fun, something they enjoy. And again, generally speaking, the best games have the shortest TTF, the shortest time to fun. We're not making games for the PC or consoles where you spend $80 on it and you sit down on your couch or in your gamer chair or whatever and you expect to spend 20 minutes getting to the point. This is not like that at all. Players should be having some fun experience within a matter of seconds. And if they don't get that, they're going to bail. They're just not going to stick around. And the problem with downloads is that a download time is part of that TTF. It's very easy to think that TTF starts counting when the game is actually ready to go. That's not true. TTF starts counting from the moment they press the play button, which means, here's what I mean by play button. The thumbnail, you've got the little blurred out play button. That's when the TTF starts. It's not when the game loads and the actual game starts. It's when the player starts waiting. That's when TTF counts. So it's very important that you consider your download time part of that. And if you don't, even if you think you've made your game really tight and quick and fun, if it takes 5 or 10 extra seconds than you thought to download, you've just wrecked that TTF. Okay, so, sorry, catching up. First of all, does everyone know what I mean when I say TTF, FTUE, downloading? These basic concepts, we're all clear on that, right? Because I'm going to get into like the details of how to do it right, but I want to make sure before I get to that we are all on the same page. Exactly. Knox is repeating in all caps what I'm talking about, which is very important. Okay. So let's get to the most memorable part of this lesson, which is this big giant number, 10 seconds. This is the maximum amount of time that a game should take to download at only 3000 kbps. This is a very, very slow internet speed by modern standards. So this is not as easy to hit as you might think. You might think 10 seconds, that's an eternity. On my phone, games play instantly, and that's probably true. On your phone, maybe they do. But like I said, in many parts of the world, 10 seconds is actually not that bad. By the way, we did not make up this number. Some of this is informed by our own data, but a lot of kind of casual gaming portals, their developer guidelines, they all kind of agree 10 seconds at 3000 kbps is like a really common standard target to shoot for. Okay, thanks. Pika P is sharing the example of my game, which is going to be explored in just a minute as an example of what not to do. So stay tuned for that. Okay, now we're also going to talk a little bit today. By the way, I think I said 10 minutes. I have wrecked that. So speaking of taking a long time to get to the point, forget that I said 10 minutes because that's not even close. Anyway. Measuring your game's download time is the first step towards understanding how to make your game download quickly. And I'm going to, in just a second, I will show you guys how to do this live. Anyone that's using Chrome, it's very easy to do. I'll walk you through the process. If you use some other browser, or if you're only working on your phone, you may have to adapt a little bit. This little recipe I'm going to share is mostly intended for desktop Chrome users. But hopefully that's a lot of you. If that doesn't include you, let us know, and we can expand these to include other browsers, other platforms. But for now, it's desktop Chrome. But use your developer tool pane. If anyone's not familiar, if you hold down Option, Command, and press I, that brings up this, right? You can just toggle this open and closed. And there's all these tabs. The one you care about is Network. And then this network tab will basically give you an overview of how long your game takes to download, and it'll break it down into detail. It's very, very useful. So as an AstroCade creator, it's important to get in the habit of doing that.
Ayla wanted to know, I'm sorry if that's not the right name. Can you do that on Safari?
I know Safari has an equivalent. Off the top of my head, I don't know exactly how the details work. But I definitely know that virtually every modern browser has its equivalent of developer tools. So Safari would be a good next step for us to expand the lessons. But for now, it's Chrome, unfortunately. Although if you follow along, you may find that everything I'm talking about, if you are familiar with the equivalent tool in your browser, then it should be easy to apply. Because the principles, by the way, are the same. There are some details of how exactly you set this up, but the concept of how you make your game better applies no matter what browser you're using. The technique doesn't change. Okay, so in order to do this, and I'll do this live in just a second, but a quick overview, you want to create basically a preset, a profile, that will set up this fake 3000 kbps download environment if you don't actually have that slow speed yourself. If you're in a part of the world where download is already slow, on the one hand, I guess that's hugely inconvenient, that's a bummer, that sucks. But on the other hand, it's actually great as a developer because it means you will never be misled by your own download speed. You'll be seeing things as they are for other people that have slow downloads. For the rest of us, we have to simulate it because we can very easily be misled because we're spoiled by how fast our internet is. So part of what you want to do is set up this profile that allows you to very easily tell Chrome, I want you to simulate slower download speeds and higher latency. And then once I've got that activated, then I can load my game and I can actually get a sense of how long it takes to download. Okay, so let's get into an example. I'm going to show you guys what I consider to be the worst case scenario. This is my game, Iron Wing. I will show it to you very quickly. Anyone seeing this? Okay, great. So this is, in fact, it's got some music too, which is kind of a fun part of it. It's a steampunk bullet hell, shoot 'em up, something, something. Wait, is this muted or is it unmuted? I'm unmuted. Why am I not hearing music? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Imagine music in the background, right? So let me start this over. So as you can see, when the game... Ooh, is my internet bad too? Maybe I am... There we go. Okay. So as you can see, there's a lot going on visually. There it is. There's the music. So you got sound effects, you got music, you got all these crazy graphics and layers and blah, blah, blah. Play it for a second. Okay, now, why did I show that to everybody? I showed it to you guys because even though I'm very proud of how that game came out, and I think it looks and plays really well, check this out. This is a simulated 3000 kbps download time. This is Iron Wing downloading. So first of all, this is the moment where it starts. The player pressed play, and look at this counter. Look how long this is taking. We're 4, 5, 6 seconds in, and all we've got is a blank screen. I didn't even provide the courtesy of a loading screen. I didn't even have that much common sense when I made this game. 14 seconds, 15 seconds, 16 seconds. This is just an absolute embarrassment. And it's not until over 20 seconds that everything appears at once. Okay? So, as you can imagine, this game has not performed well. I think it's a good piece of work. I think it's well designed, but the world does not agree because half of the world's population has never even seen it. Some say it is. Some say it's still downloading to this day. Pretty bad, right? And there's a few reasons for that. There are a lot of graphics. That's a big chunk of it. But that little musical background soundtrack that I thought was so important, the game doesn't start playing until the music is downloaded. It doesn't even play silently and then kick in later. The whole game is blocked until everything is downloaded, right? So this is basically a worst case scenario. Now, let's compare this to something much more sensible by non-idiots. This is the excellent Knife Blitz 2, which has been a player's choice game for a while. It's a great game. Check this out. Same slow internet, right? Same 3000 kbps. So again, this is the moment where the game begins. See, I'm on the thumbnail. You can see my little circle. This is simulating where a mobile user would press the play button, which means this is when the timer starts. First of all, they have a loading screen, unlike me. So that's a very important difference. If you are going to make somebody wait, let them know that they're waiting. Don't confuse them, because people play my game, they think the game is broken. They don't even know it's loading. But once you've got the loading screen, that's no excuse to take a long time. 10 seconds is the maximum, and this game gets in under 10 seconds. So on the worst case internet, at 8 seconds, they've got a title screen and the game is ready to go, right? So it's a much, much better example of how to make a game run. So that's the first thing. You guys have seen kind of the worst case, best case. And sure enough, if you look at the data, this is Iron Wing, and this is Knife Blitz 2, and check this out. 0 to 10 seconds, Knife Blitz 2 has very few people bailing. My game has a ton of people bailing, because as we just saw, if you're on a slow enough internet connection, even at 10 seconds, you're only halfway through. And you don't even know that because there's no loading screen, right? So I was really just begging people to bail on my game, and most of them took me up on that offer. So I sadly have a huge spike in 0 to 10 seconds when I look at my game's analytics, and that's a very, very bad sign. The good news, though, is that once you have identified this, it becomes a very, very easy problem to solve. So first of all, let me show you guys an example of how this works. So let me bring Iron Wing up again, and I'm going to bring up my... Ooh, you know what? Sorry, I take it back. I want to put this in incognito mode. You always have to be in incognito mode to do download testing, and the reason is incognito mode ensures that even if you have loaded your own game on your computer before, it will not look at any of that cache information, and it'll download it all fresh. right? To further ensure that, I always check this box here, disable cache. By the way, all these details are in the lesson. I'm just going to demonstrate it live so everyone can see how it works, but all the details are written down, so you don't have to memorize this right now. Now, if you look at this pull down, this is where these presets are, right? There's fast 4G, slow 4G, 3G, whatever, right? These are the throttling speeds. This is what allows you to simulate a slower internet speed than you may have. I have created a custom profile, though, that I just left enabled. I called it Astrocade. I set megabits per second to 3. That's 3000 K megabits per second. And then I set latency to 150 milliseconds. These numbers don't really matter. It doesn't really matter what they mean. It just matters that you put these in and then you save the profile. So then once you select Astrocade, which in my case is default, paste in the URL for my game, and then let's see what happens.
Hey, just a second. Alex, am I the only one that only
Yeah.
sees the gameplay of Iron Wing right now and not what he's talking about? Toxic?
Oh no, sorry guys. Yeah, you know what? I forgot when I opened up a new incognito mode, I forgot to switch streaming. 1 second. Let me
Okay.
No, good catch. Thanks for saying something.
Okay.
1 sec.
I thought I was
Okay.
lagging.
No. I was lagging cognitively. Okay, so we are in incognito mode. We open up
There we go. Okay.
developer tools. Like I said, make sure disable cache is checked. And then here is that preset I mentioned. I called it Astrocade, call it whatever you want. I set it to 3.0 megabits per second and 150 milliseconds of latency, right? So this is the most important thing to get your throttling preset set up. And then once it's set up, you go to Astrocade, you select that preset, and then you paste in your URL, and then you just wait. You watch what happens. So you'll see everything is taking a long time to show up. Granted, I'm in the creator mode, not in the play mode, but close enough, same general idea. And of course, I have not prepared because I'm not logged in incognito mode. Sorry, guys, but you get the idea, right? Basically, you paste in anything, and over here, you can see how long it takes to download. So 10,000 milliseconds, 10 seconds in, things are still downloading, 15 seconds in, they're still downloading. This is how you can tell. And then you just look at the screen and you watch how long does it take for the game to become playable. So that's basically it. I will switch back to what I was showing you guys, but that is an example of how you actually set up all these details. It's pretty simple. Once you've done it once, it becomes super easy, but doing it that first time is when you have to set everything up. Okie dokie. So once you've got that set up, you can start making sense of these numbers. So if you see these big 0 to 10 spikes, that means your game, among other things, is likely taking too long to download. So now the question is, how do we fix it, right? So there's two things to focus on. One is the awareness of the user, which is, like I said, if you are going to take time to download, which most games do, please make sure the user knows that you're loading. Don't just leave them in the dark, right? And then the second thing is you need to prioritize your game's assets, okay? And there's two categories here. If you're not thinking this way, you need to start thinking this way. There's what I generally call the essentials, which is the stuff that you cannot play the game without. And then there's everything else, kind of the non-essentials. And the trick to making your game download quickly is not just optimizing everything, because some games just cannot be optimized enough to download in full in 10 seconds. That is not always realistic. And so if it does take longer than 10 seconds, the answer is not just to accept it, because that's just too long. The answer is to split up your assets into essentials and non-essentials and only load those essentials during that 10-second maximum window. And in fact, if you do it right, it's often possible to make even a really big, expansive game get playable much faster than 10 seconds on that slow download time, and then do the rest after the fact. So this brings us to an important term to learn, which is called lazy loading. Lazy loading basically means that your game will not download something until it's actually needed. So this is where that essential versus non-essential distinction becomes so important. If there's a handful of things your games cannot play without, like for instance, you may need a background graphic, like the game may not make any sense without the background, or the player, you may have to have the player, right? Those are the things you can force your game to download. The game doesn't start, the loading screen doesn't end until at least those couple things have been downloaded, right? But if it's something like the background music in my Iron Wing game, that adds some style and some ambience, whatever, but it's not required to play the game, right? In fact, the game has a big boss character at the end of the first level, and it has different backgrounds for other levels. And obviously, by definition, you don't need any of those things to play the first level, right? You can start playing the game, have a player get into it, enjoy what they're doing, and then in the background, you can load the music, you can start playing it whenever it's ready, you can load the boss, which will probably download long before it's needed anyway, and then you can download other level backgrounds, all on a much more leisurely schedule, right? And so by understanding what you need to start the game and what you can wait on, you can start optimizing your game's download time much more intelligently, right? So let's demonstrate this in practice. I made this game a long time ago. It was one of our example games called Starboy. It's like a start to finish demonstration of how to make a game with Astrocade. And it took about 7 seconds to download. But the problem is it was doing all the game's assets were downloading in those 7 seconds. So even though 7 seconds is technically acceptable, there was no reason for this game to take that long, right? So I basically started to say, I want to split up essential stuff into non-essential stuff. And I did it with this very simple wish, which is as follows. I told Astra, start the game with a simple loading screen featuring a red loading bar on a black background, load the player texture first, and display it smoothly hovering over the loading bar once it's downloaded, right? So let's see what that looked like. This is an example of my game in practice. So first the thumbnail comes up, player presses play, second counter. So I've got this. Let me stop here for a second. I've got a loading screen. Loading screens can be super simple. I mean, I've just got a bar filling up. There's not even text. That's usually okay. Everybody knows what a loading screen looks like, but you've got to see it. If you don't even see it at all, you think something's wrong. And then just as like a fun detail, once this player texture is loaded, it starts hovering, adds a little bit of color to the loading screen. But because it doesn't show up until it's downloaded, it doesn't make the loading screen take longer. It just means that as we're downloading, show the player something kind of cool as a visual, right? 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. I guess I actually didn't save any time. But the point being, there are like 3 different backgrounds in this game. Sorry, like see this backdrop? This is level 1, but there's like 3 more backdrops. So the game is no longer making the player wait to download those other backdrops because you don't even need them. You could spend 30 seconds on level 1. That's plenty of time to download the background, right? So that's how I kind of cleaned up the experience. Well, what happened? Cleaned up the experience of my Starboy game. And you can see here an example of kind of what that looks like. So the game Starboy requires a few basic things. These are the targets that float by. You shoot your ninja stars at these targets. You collect these gems. The player, the ninja star itself. I consider those essential. The game visually doesn't make a lot of sense if you don't see these things. But almost everything else in the game, like I'll show you again, like the background. In fact, you know what? Let me see if I can just pull this up. Starboy. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Yes, guys, talk amongst yourselves while I pull up this game and show you an example of what I mean.
I think it's fair to ask, does anybody have any questions so far? Because lazy loading is not easy as a concept, but also technically speaking to do.
I think lazy loading is actually pretty simple or pretty straightforward. If anybody has any more questions afterwards, I'm happy to fill you more in on it. But yeah, it definitely can't be a pain in the booty to try to get it to all work properly.
I think the lazy loading.
What about it? Sorry.
Yeah, I think the trick to lazy loading is not so. Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you keep cutting out.
You keep cutting out, yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed there is something up with my internet. I don't know what's going on. My internet, I'm in the Astrocade office where things are normally pretty good. Something's up with my internet connection. So please let me know if you guys can't hear me.
I'm fine right now. Just every once in a while, you just kind of stop talking.
Well, then something's up because I never stop talking. Okay.
You allow us to jump in when you stop talking, so.
Right.
Yeah, it's like Alex is being oddly generous with his time. Okay, so here is the game. Here's the actual Starboy game. Now, here's what I mean by essentials. When you're playing... so much music today. Okay, so here's the basic gameplay, is the player shooting ninja stars at these targets. And it starts with this little tutorial, but it's the same idea. There's a bomb that you can blow up. There are these floating targets. There's the player, there's the ninja stars, and there's these rubies that you collect as kind of a collectible, right? So if you think about it, that's the only thing you need to play the game. the background, even though it looks nice and adds a lot, isn't required. The game is playable without a background. And the music adds a little bit of ambience, but again, not required, right? And then even this dragon, this kind of inflatable dragon that you can shoot to score extra points, that doesn't show up until 20, 30 seconds into the game, right? And then there's these special weapons down here. The player is probably not going to reach for them the first time they play the game immediately. They're useful, but they're not required. So this is how you decide what is essential and what's not essential. And if you think about it, oftentimes the biggest elements, background music, background images, are the longest to download, but they're the least important. They add all this great background vibe and style, but you don't need them to play the game, right? So the question to ask yourself is, what aspects of my game's assets are required? Make sure those download first, put a loading bar on it, and then everything else comes later, right? That alone can dramatically reduce the time it takes for your game to get started. So instead of thinking of how long does my whole game take to download, think of it like this. How long does it take for my game to be playable? Playability is the bottom line. Everything else is just an extra detail, right? So hopefully that makes sense. There are more details that I would suggest everyone kind of read through in the lesson. There's more examples, more tips on optimization. And in fact, by the way, I realized I made a mistake. When I showed you this was the before video. This was not the finished product. So this game takes 7 seconds, right? So I'll just play this video one more time. This is before any optimization. So 1, 2, 3, on and on. So it takes about 7 seconds for the game to start. That's with basically everything being forced to download. Now, with some optimization, check this out. Sorry. Look, the game was playable even without the background in under 2 seconds, but then the background pops up as soon as it's ready, right? So it's a little bit of a trade-off. If you're like a perfectionist, like a lot of us are, you may not want your game to download until everything is ready to go. I know it kind of sucks having to accept that, but the alternative is a huge number of people may not stick around to play it at all. So if your options are your game plays perfectly, but fewer people play it, or it looks a little bit imperfect, but many more people play it, I strongly advise you choose the latter option. Just one more time because it's so quick. This is after lazy loading is applied, and this game goes from a 7-second download time to, look at this, less than 2, right?
Near instant, yeah. That's why I was going to ask earlier that technically it's complicated because I'm one of those players that like everything to be perfect.
Yep.
So the fact that my background is popping, I start fuming inside.
No,
And I
it's the
want
worst. I
solutions.
know. I totally understand. I totally sympathize. But the worst feeling in the world is making a game that you love and care about and then seeing people dropping off and not playing it. So as long as you're talking about bad feelings, I would much rather have the bad feeling of perfectionism than the bad feeling of nobody's playing my game. Mimoko asks a really good question. I understand that a good instruction for Astro would be make the game download only the essential assets for this first level and download corresponding assets while the end of level screen is displayed. So in theory, that's the right idea. I don't know if I would trust Astro to know what your game's essential assets are. That's kind of a matter of opinion as the creator of the game. So my advice is do what I did with Starboy. Play through your game, identify the things that you know the game cannot play without. Usually it's something like the player graphic, maybe the main thing you're interacting with, like an enemy or a hazard, basic stuff like that. It's probably fewer than 5 things, right? Ensure those things are downloading. Make a list of those things. Also, one more little tip. Let me go into the media tab. You can look at your media tab and you can look at everything, right? This is everything in Iron Wing. This makes it much easier to determine what's essential or not, right? So the game, I kind of want the player ship to be there. But for instance, notice I have this little ornamental corner graphic. That is as non-essential as it gets. Who cares, right? Even things like the shrapnel, which by the way are probably unoptimized and way too big, you don't need shrapnel to play the game. You certainly don't need these boss characters. Those don't show up until much later. So it becomes pretty easy to see what you need and what you don't need. And then things like background music, which is huge, and background graphics, also huge. You just don't need those things to get the game off the ground. But as long as they load and then play whenever they're ready, then you still know the player will see them, just not immediately, right? And I think that's a worthy trade-off.
I'd also like to say too that certain file certain file types come with a certain file size, and if you can optimize by compressing your your music or your images or any of your assets, if you can compress them, it can save a dramatic amount of or of space or download time, such as converting your MP3s over to what's called an OGG, or converting your JPEGs or your PNGs over to what's called a WebP. You can drastically reduce the file sizes by half and sometimes even 75%.
You can definitely do that. I did that, in fact, with, let me show you an example of this. My Lemonade Stand game. Can I see that here? Yes.
Why is Astro not doing it automatically from the get-go so the community doesn't have to?
Well, so first of all, Astra kind of does. Actually, since I made this download guide, Astra's actually getting a lot better. We do more automated optimization than we used to do. So Toxic's point about manually optimizing is still a good option. It is not as required as it used to be. It used to be like you had to do it yourself. So Astra is getting a lot better. But there will always be limits to automated optimization because, again, some of it is a judgment call. Some of it is deciding what your game has to have and what your game doesn't have to have. That's not always obvious to Astra. But Toxic, you're right. It's still true. It's just a question of how required is it. But if you look at this, my game Lemon Squeeze Tycoon that I made a while ago, if you look through my wish history here, almost all of my last round of wishes is just uploading manually optimized versions of the assets. Basically, I would just copy the image, like this big lemonade, or this big lemon rather, copy the image, download it, use some manual tool to make it a smaller file size, and then I would re-upload it and just tell Astra, like here's Lemonade Stand Plastic, replace this image with the attached file exactly, do not make any attempt at regenerating it, maintain the asset name as is, blah, blah, blah. And I just copied and pasted this wish and then attached a different file. And you can see me doing it over and over down here, just continually re-uploading graphics with a better, more optimal version of it, right? So that's, if you really want to go hardcore, that works. And as you can see, it downloads pretty quickly. I know it's relatively fast internet, although something's wrong with my internet. So it's actually simulating bad internet, which is kind of cool. And I have a bug. I'll have to figure out what that's all about. I have no idea why that's going on. But the point, though, is that if you tell it to automatically download stuff that's not required, that's a good first step. But I strongly advise make your own list, go through your media tab. Like, I don't need this background, but I do want the player. I don't need the most advanced lemonade stand, but I might want the default lemonade stand. You know, those kinds of things, right? So these kinds of judgment calls are going to come better from you than from the AI currently. Yeah, I know. I know, Toxic. It's a little bit unfortunate, but ice is ice. I could say now with frozen water. Maybe I'll try that next time.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it. I think I almost hit my 10-minute download. That was what, 30 minutes? So let's jump into some playtesting. What do you guys think? Oh, before I go, any other questions on downloading? It's been very good questions so far. Good conversation. Before we move on, anyone else curious about anything here?
I'd love to know if the PowerPoint presentation shows, here's the top 5 things you can do in order to optimize your game. Like, I didn't go that far. I'm sorry if you did.
That's a good question. I actually probably should add that. And by the way, this is Google Slides, dude. Come on, PowerPoint. Give me some credit here. Well, let me recap though. The first things first, 10-second download time on a slow internet connection. That's the first thing to remember. Second thing, and guys, please check out the lesson. We'll break this down in detail. Here's how to test it. You set up this profile on Chrome Developer Tools. And again, please send me your platform if you don't use Chrome. We can expand this. I know someone mentioned Safari. We can think about adding that. So you diagnose your game's download time at 3000 kbps. If it is 10 seconds or longer, it's time to optimize. And honestly, in my opinion, even if it's 5 seconds, if you have not yet optimized, optimize it. 5 seconds is fine if that's the best you can do. But if you haven't made it better yet, go for 0 seconds. Go for 2 seconds. It's better than 5, right? Then once you've got that in mind, here are 2 examples in the lesson of what that actually looks like in practice. Bad game, Iron Wing. Good game, Knife Blitz 2. Then make a wish that effectively, if you don't have it, adds a loading bar and then gives Astra a list of stuff that is essential and then says everything else can be downloaded lazily. So that's my summary of what to do. And don't forget, by the way, your judgment is better than Astra's, so go through your media tab and just make a list of what you think is essential. That's basically it. Everything else is just details. But that's the practice at a glance. All right, I think it's playtesting time. I'm sure we've got plenty of good stuff. Pika, Noxic, do you guys have any suggestions for Astro Academy students, or should we just jump into the queue?
I think
So-
you've covered most of it. Or Knox, go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say now there's two queues, right? There's Pika's list and there's the submit link, correct? There's
The
two of
submit
them.
link is more for office hours, and the one that Pika is providing us is actually only going to be Academy. So I think that we should start with Academy first, and then seeing how it's not actual office hours today, move on to the other games afterwards if we have time.
Yeah, the list is not too big, so I think yeah, I can go through pretty quickly.
Yeah, it looks like we
Okay.
got like 7 games.
Is the first game, is this Quasi Ada with a 3? Is that where we're starting, guys?
It is,
Yeah.
yep.
Cool.
I
All
update
right.
the link as you play, and I just make sure it's check marked so everybody
I
knows.
see
when
that.
you
Great.
play.
It actually popped up on my screen when you did that. Nice. Real
Have you
time.
guys noticed, by the way, that we brought on people like Noxic and Pika, and now there's actually some semblance of professionalism? I hope everyone appreciates that, because it was the Wild West, and then these guys came along, and things are a lot better. Actually, sorry to contradict you a little. My honest take is, if you want to change your game, as long as you can finish it by Friday, I really don't care. What we don't want to do is get in the habit of letting people keep working like a week or two beyond the end of Astro Academy. It's less about having your game consistent and more about just getting it done by the end of the week. And also, we really want you guys to be excited about your game. So if for whatever reason you decide the game you're working on is not the best, then make something different. We want it to be something you guys are passionate about. Just please try to get it done by Friday. That's all. Okay, I am now going to share my screen, and here's a very important subtlety I want everyone to pay attention to. Notice, and this is why I always do this, I share the screen before I even paste in the browser link, because this allows us to watch the entire experience from scratch. Interstellar Defense version 2.0. This means that you don't just see the game when it's running, you see how long it takes to download, you can see if there's a loading bar, blah, blah, blah. That's a really important part of playtesting. And now that we've gone through the whole download optimization chapter, I hope everybody appreciates why. Okay, this is Mini Giants Interstellar Defense version 2.0. And look at that. Kind of a clever way to turn the loading bar into something in-world. Oh, I remember this game. This game was very cool. Okay, tap anywhere to play. Look at this. Look at these insane effects. This is so cool.
I don't think
So
this
if I-
creator is here.
Great. Oh, wait, you do or you don't?
I don't think they're here.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do a quick run through and then see if we can maybe increase our playtest throughput rate. So we saw this game last week. It's improved enormously. It was already good, but it's so much better. And I say that because the UI looks better. I remember a lot of the ships seemed to be covered last time. We've got so many cool different visuals. Like, look at all these insane weapon effects. I love that blast off transition from level to level. And the gameplay is really good. It's really simple. I can add ships, but other than that, it's kind of an auto battle. So it's just the fun of kind of watching the game unfold. But then in between levels, I get a chance to put my own spin on it by choosing which ships I want to deploy. So I love this. I think it looks great.
Okay, sorry,
but
this creator is
how about
here.
this?
The name just got
This-
mixed up.
This is a very
Oh, you're cutting out
Perfect.
big time, Alex.
yeah. Well, so you're welcome to join the stage, Mini Giant. God, sorry guys, I don't know what's up with my internet.
Yeah, your stream is frozen.
Am I back? Can you guys hear
yeah.
me?
Oh, there you are. Hello, Alex. Can you hear me?
I will talk via chat. No, it's not Netflix. I don't know what the story is.
Manvi is streaming, isn't she?
It's almost always Manvi's fault. It's just a question of why. So for anyone that can't hear me, which could be all of you, I'm in the chat a little bit saying that the game looks great, but I am very curious how fast these visuals download on a slow internet connection. And in fact, you know what? Why don't we test it ourselves?
I mean, with your current internet, Alex, you can test it.
Yeah. So let me share my screen again in the incognito browser that I mentioned. Okay, so if I am yeah, I'm hearing you guys sort of. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Blink twice, please. Yes, no, we can hear
All
you.
right.
You're fine.
So let me see if I can just get this across before my internet dies again, because this will be this will be a perfect example of everything. Okay, so I'm in incognito mode. I open developer tools. I make sure that disable cache is set, and I've got my AstroKit preset. Now I paste in the link. Let's check this out. So it's very slow, and this is not the game's fault. Just the whole internet is slow with this preset. Thumbnail hasn't even appeared. Okay, now, moment of truth. I hit the play button, and how long does it take? You can see the bar. Not bad. I mean, that might be a little over 10 seconds, actually. No, you know what? I may have spoken too soon. This is too long. It seems okay at first, but it takes way too long to go through this last thing. And now the game's going. So, yes, I would strongly advise cleaning that up. 18 seconds. There you go. Thanks, Pico. Yeah, it is better than I thought as well. I agree, but it definitely needs to be improved. A lot of work went into this game. I'll just say it in the chat too. A lot of work went into this game. So it'd be a shame if a bad download time affected its performance. There you go. Yes, B Little makes a very good point. This little graph here will actually give you an idea of what assets are taking the longest. You can scroll through your list and kind of get an idea. It's a little bit not user-friendly, but it's there. Okay, well, we've got the creator here, Toxic Nox. Do you guys want to ask any questions? I've done the download interrogation.
We can talk about what changed, because I think that that would be great too, to see how the game got better since last time.
I'm not sure if I'm actually familiar with this game last time. I'm not sure how I missed it or I missed the playtesting on it. So, did you close your stream down or?
I think we lost Alex. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh no.
Alex!
Okay, well,
Oh,
Toxic,
man.
do you want to hop in and share your screen and play the game since you haven't tried it?
Yeah,
Been
yeah,
at it
yeah.
for like 2 or 3 minutes, so maybe like quickly like go over it for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
Okay, so Toxic got his screen shared, please. Here we go.
Right. All right, let's see. Incremental, I'm assuming, kind of. Let's see. Oh, sending them out. Gotcha. Okay. I think your ship's too big, and I think your UI at the bottom of the screen's a little too large. I'm not sure what's going on with this blue strip on the side of the screen. I'm not sure if that was intended or not, but it kind of feels odd to me. Ships are cool. I like the visual. I like the visual effects. The attacks are really nice. The reaction between the enemies, you can definitely tell when you hit them, they're being hit. I think that this is taking up too much space down here, and it could be a little smaller. See, over here on the side of the screen, I'm still getting this weird, like, artifacts.
It gives it a nice like painting effect. The point
Yeah.
is to paint.
Yeah, like a psychedelic effect.
Toxic, is your screen zoomed in? Because remember, we had that problem with your werewolf game the other day.
Aha, thank you, sir. Sturm on the spot. So when I say I think your ship's too big and your UI's too big, I would like it to be moved down a bit. I'd like to see the action taking place in the center of the screen. And then if they, your units lose, then these units kind of move closer to your ship and start attacking. But I think right now everything's really cluttered around your ship, and if I start making more, it gets even more cluttered on my screen right there. I think that I love the visuals and I love the style of the game, but I want a little bit more room on my playfield here. Transitions are really good, cool. The smoke effects or the exhaust effects is cool. Is that your music only? I think the music could be a little bit better.
Wait,
There's
better
a lot
keep
of
it longer.
no. It just seems doesn't seem to fit for this game. To me, it just sounds more like kind of like background noise. I think it's fun
And
though.
the sound effects are awesome. It sounds so appropriate. It's very arcade-like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you are. Hello.
Yeah, well, I'm trying. I'm jumping in and out.
And I guess if I was a little bit faster, a lot of this would take place a little further up the screen.
This is so cool.
So, new ability, new unit. Phoenix. Oh, we got a boss, Hexa.
Wow, that sound is great. That additional sound. The boss.
Oh.
There's a lot of health bars. I'm wondering if there's a way to maybe shrink them.
Oh, that is cool.
Make them less obvious.
Those are the best units in the game right there. I still would argue I don't like your background music too much, but that's just probably a me thing. Alright, we got new abilities now. I would kind of like to know what each one of these do. Like, I'd like a little info box or something telling me what their abilities are, maybe how much health they have, or something along those lines, something simple. But right now I'm kind of just clicking because they look cool, and I know since how they cost more, I think they're going to do better. But I don't really know if they have like better defense versus this, or better offense versus this, or kind of what the game plan is, or like the strategy here. Or is it just simply buy as much of the higher end stuff as you can? And if that's the case, that's fine too. It's the incremental game. But I like the tie-in between incremental and vertical shooter kind of. I think it's pretty cool. And also a little bit of like strategy. I'm not sure where you were before on this game or how far it has improved since last week, but all in all, I think this is quite enjoyable. I don't think there's any tutorial that I noticed. But I think it's pretty clear what you need to do, pretty much. You only give me, what, 1 or 2 ships to start with, 3 ships.
5.
But yeah, all in all, I think it's a pretty decent game. What are your guys' thoughts in comparison to where it came from last week when you guys played it?
It came from far. I think that he implemented, if not all, the feedback that we're giving to him, and he did even more than that. He added
Do we
some
remember what the
polish.
feedback was that we gave him?
It wasn't that far in, from what I can recall.
Alex, do you remember what the feedback was on this one?
I'm also kind of struggling to remember exactly what it was. I think a lot of it was the size of the ship and stuff like that. But I do remember last time we also kind of got caught up in just how great the effects were. So I think once again we're being kind of enchanted by the amazing visuals.
Yeah, I think the
So-
visuals definitely make the game. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, he actually submitted this in the Game Showcase channel, and I gave him a little feedback on a few things, which actually is very interesting that you guys are playing it now, because the changes that he made are actually very not noticeable at first unless you play the old version. And like Toxic, you mentioned he didn't have a tutorial, but the tutorial was basically just saying that there was a currency and that you could buy ships with it. So I told him, probably we don't need that. Just get the player right into the action right away. And then the other thing was, in between each wave, we were having these huge pop-ups, like, okay, boom, you killed this many enemies, you got this much currency, this increments, all this stuff. And I felt that really interrupted the game flow. And I'm really happy to see that it's actually flowing quite better now, because you're right into the action, boom, and then in between the waves, you have this little pause, and then you're just right back into the action again. So I just wanted to say that's good job on that.
So you're saying he had maybe a little bit too much juice, and you just kind of had him tone it back a little bit?
No, it was very interruptive of the game flow experience.
I
Was
see.
my feedback on that, because it kept pausing. It was like boom, boom, boom. Here's all this action. Okay, now let's pause. Let's recap. Let's click through a couple screens. Now let's back into the action. And I felt like it just flows so much better now. And it's interesting to see that you guys are actually noticing that subconsciously in a way.
Excellent. And that's because Sturm is actually the one that does most of the reviews. Him and JC do most of our reviews that are in the showcase. So he would definitely have a good idea, especially giving back the feedback. So yeah, good stuff. Thank you. All right, moving on. We have Nazmul's game.
Yeah. You want Alex, are you back?
I think maybe you should take this one now.
First of all, I was, but let me see.
I'll take it.
Give it.
I'll
If
take
you guys
it.
can, the
I got
problem is
it, I
I'm
got it.
dropping out. I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
inconsistent. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it because I'm not good at these types of games and I haven't played it, so
Perfect.
probably even better. Okay. And the share screen button doesn't work.
Uh-oh, I gave it up. I don't have it. It's not sharing on my screen anymore.
No, I click and nothing happens.
Well, I mean, my internet connection is good. I can stream it if you guys just want to do some background talking.
Yeah, the menu doesn't pop up for some reason for me to be able to share.
All right, well, while you guys figure that out, I'll continue moving forward. So that, oops, excuse me. All right. Not my game. 2248. I did play this one before. I think the feedback was more juice. Is that what it was, Nazmul?
I think that was part of it, right?
Naz, can you let us know kind of what your feedback was? That way, I'm going forward, I can kind of review what you've done.
Yeah, I think the feedback was about like changing color a bit and some more juice. Yes.
Okay. All right. I don't think you had a tutorial last time either. You could do them diagonally as well. I'm ready. Let's do it. Oh yeah, that is much better. I think before Nazmul, they just instantly disappeared and instantly appeared. I don't remember them settling down like that, all nice and pretty like. Or am I wrong?
There was similar particle effects, but now it's a bit better. Like it just adds up with the number, so it looks better.
Yeah, I agree. Feels flows much better. It's the same background music too, or did you change that?
No, I didn't change anything for music. Music is similar.
Well, to me right now, it feels way more rewarding. More, the visual pleasure is definitely there versus last time. I'm not sure why I'm thinking that you've changed other things that you haven't, but maybe the changes that you made made me notice these a little bit more. So as I'm playing this, Nox, Alex, Sturm, what are your guys' thoughts? If I talk too much, I'll close the game out.
Check it out. Rosebud update their site.
Looks
What's
very
that?
familiar.
Actually, it looks better.
It does. I gotta say.
Very sharp.
No, I mean it looks familiar. Like it looks like a.
It looks like crazy,
Yeah, exactly.
not like us.
So Alex is
Andre-
having a conversation
Pretty
behind the
legit.
scenes.
With Andre. Yeah, I think it's
Wait,
Andre and
yeah.
Alex.
Yeah,
Sounds
it looks like
like
an
it.
actual game. No.
Alex, your
Or
mic
mute
is open.
Alex.
I don't think you can hear us or something.
Can Pika mute Alex? Okay, there we go. Okay. So I'm not so I think last time we talked about your UI, the upper part of it. If you wanted to sacrifice some one or two horizontal column to add a bigger UI, I guess you decided not to, which is great, which is fine. I think there's a little bit of juice missing though, in terms of when you chain things, and when your score gets added up as well. Because right now it's very plain.
It's very simple,
And-
yet it's very effective. But I do think exactly what Knox says when I'm connecting these. As they get higher, as the numbers get higher and higher, so like from 2 to 4, a slightly different effect because I'm chaining them up. Which, why can't I go 2 to, oh, right, because I need 2 2s. So like that to that, and then to the 64, I wanted an effect there. And if I was to go from a 64 to a 128, let's say that was a 128, I want to see a slightly bigger effect, I guess. Is that kind of what you're talking about, Knox? Yep. Yep.
Nothing to add. Absolutely. I think what would get me going in this game, would make me continue going in this game, would be the whole juice aspect of it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about it though that just has this charm to it.
You
I'm
like
not a
the,
big-
you like soothing. You're enjoying the soothingness, right?
I am.
The slow.
Exactly what it is. Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Very
pretty much like
relaxing.
I don't have a timer. It's not stressing me out. I can literally sit here and figure out what I want to do. So it's calming. It's not stressful or chaotic. So yeah, I think that this game, I don't want to spend too much more time playing it, but Nazbo, I think that what is your plans? I think this is ready to go out the door. I don't think that you need to spend any more time, except for maybe like what Knox was saying is the little bit more juice when connecting 2s to 4s and 4s to 8s to 16s, yada yada, right? But other than that, I don't think that you need to do much else with this game here.
Yeah, I intentionally didn't add like much juice because like you have to think about the patterns also. So when it's blasting too much, so you kind of miss the patterns.
Awesome. So do you plan on?
Somehow-
Oh, is this your hint system right here?
Yep, this is
Aha.
new edition. So if you are like not finding any moves, then it shows the hint. And there is
Very
another option like there is a color blind option. So if you are color blind, you can choose different pastels, and you
Oh,
can
look at you.
play.
Thinking about everybody.
Yeah. So if you
I think I
click
like
the
them all.
colorblind logo, you can see a different thing there. There is a toggle there.
Oh,
So-
okay.
This is
Cool.
only for colorblind people.
No, I do see a lot of games with these options in there. I wonder how utilized or how often they get used. But yeah, cool.
Like suppose someone don't know like the numbers, they can just like I was playtesting with this with my cousin. He's just 6 years old, so he don't know all the numbers. So he just matches based on the color instead of like numbers. So I
Awesome.
thought like having different colored things for colorblind people also is good.
Awesome. So you plan on releasing this soon?
It's already published.
Awesome. How well is it doing?
It's doing good, but the like numbers are not good. Like it
Yeah, I think
has 1.30 minute median and more than 3 minute P75, but
Yeah, that's
numbers are
great.
like 220 right now. So,
They're working on that. I don't think that that's a game issue. I think that's a site issue. So just give them a little bit of time on that. I think that game is going to do pretty well.
Anything above a minute is good for sure.
Yeah, especially with a 3-minute P75.
like all my games are above 1 minute, but none of them are doing it. So I'm not sure what's happening.
I think the website has some issue.
Knox, do you think that your internet can handle streaming now.
But when can you check can you see my stream?
Oh, yep, there it is. Ooh, look at this.
Okay.
I think we've
I
seen this
played this game
before,
in-
right?
Yeah. I've played this game in the past. But when I was games. Okay, so let's look into it. I remember my feedback. This he still left the
Oh wait, he said he was not. He was going to watch the video later. Maybe we should go on to Johan's.
I'll go really quickly. You still left
Sure.
the attributes in. I don't think they're necessary. Nobody, maybe like a
I don't-
1%.
I'm not seeing your screen, but I'm seeing the Astro Academy screen.
Wait, what? Oh,
There
I
you
had
go.
the same problem. Wait, hold on. I've had the same problem this morning.
Well, I've seen it for a second there. There you go. Now I see it.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay,
1 second.
so there's an attribute screen. I think it's unnecessary, especially if you have 6 different rods that look 6 different ways. The players are not necessarily going to nitty gritty analyze these attributes to try and mix and max the rods. And if you can't do it really, like if you can't put points, if you can't have runes that boost these attributes, if you can't have armor, leather, whatever that does that, it's not necessary. You're complicating your life and you're reducing your real estate space to just show how awesome your rod is. Fishing rod. Also, the character here I'm supposed to talk to, but it doesn't have a little mouth icon. It has a little tappy tap thing, just a little detail. If
You can't
wanna
tap
have
it?
proper- I can. It's just the iconography. I don't like it. I would
I
rather
gotcha.
have the classic, mouth or speaking.
Sure,
just
sure.
like something like that. I don't know if you noticed, but he was snobbing me. He didn't even bother looking at me, and I understand because I started this game and I'm like a level 1 peasant, but I don't know if that's a bug.
Peasant.
Level 1 peasant fisher. All right. So there's a lot of text that I don't feel like reading, but it's pretty short, so I should have read it, but that's just me. Once I'm done, I can talk to him again, and he says, "Guide quest started, catch your fish." So that's good. You thought about the player breaking your game, so that's really good. So now, ideally, I would have known how to move, but it's okay. I'm going to use WASD and good old right click. So I got to cast my line in the water. I'm going to assume I can go anywhere, and that's cool. No, actually, it's not. I can't. Oh. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. So you're not telling the player where to fish. That's fine. Anywhere is possible. It would have helped to have a little glowy glow thing to tell you where to, but I mean, the island is so small. That's fine. The minigame has no tutorial, so no telling the player to hold it, no telling the player that you have to keep the fish in the correct zone, which means that you're technically insinuating that everybody knows how to fish or they're going to figure it out, which is fine. Fishing takes less than 10 seconds, so it's not necessarily an issue, but it's good to have if you want to handhold more. I don't think there's a magic carp in this game. I don't think this is the correct game, but I wouldn't mind it. So I completed my fishing. I'm going to go here, and I hope I didn't break the game. I hope this wasn't this is where you're supposed to go to fish. What do you want? Okay,
So I've seen this game a couple times, and I'm always impressed with the visuals on this game. I'm curious what he has changed since then. I know he was talking about adding in boats. We had talked about maybe like fishing hotspots where we've seen like fish jumping out of the water. We did talk a little bit about the mini game. So I'm wondering what has changed here. Oh, that's cool.
He added a boat, but I don't know how to use it.
I don't
So
think
maybe
that-
that's broken.
Yeah, I think that's just purely like visual. I don't think that's controllable. Yeah, I wish he
think
was
I
here.
bro-
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say I think I broke the walkthrough because I think I did something wrong. I think I did something you didn't want me to do, but that's because you weren't telling me to do it or to guide me to do it. Yeah.
So since he's not
That's how you
here, I wish he was here so he can explain a little bit what he has done so that we knew what we were kind of looking for. Because right now I kind of just see the same game that we've seen last time. So maybe he could follow up with us, kind of let us know what his feedback was or what he did with the feedback that he got. And then maybe we can review this again another time where we know what we're looking for. I mean, because to me right now, it looks beautiful. The game looks awesome. I think it just needs a little bit more direction on where the player needs to go and what he needs to do.
I think it's important to QA your own game. Sometimes I get annoyed as well. I don't feel like doing it, but for a game as complicated as this one, I think that it's important to QA your own game. Play it as much as you can, and we're asking you to play the first 2 minutes. We're not asking you to play the first 5 minutes because most, it's just try it for 2 minutes at least. Yeah, and then
So yeah, I think it needs more go here, do that. Now that you've done this, go here, do that. And the little onboarding. I just think that you have so many mechanics going on in the game that it's easy to confuse the player. And so I think that you need to immediately demonstrate to the player what he needs to be doing. Because like right now, Nox is kind of swimming off to the island. He doesn't really know where he's going, but he's supposed to be on the starter island.
I decide where I go. I go as I please.
So I'll also maybe limit the player to just the main island for now, if that's where the tutorial is taking place at. But I think in the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, the player should fully understand the main mechanic of the game, and they should fully understand what the game loop is. Why am I doing this? And I think right now that's a little lost. We all know we're fishing, but we don't really know what the actual loop is. So
Yeah, the boat should be the reward to get to the second island. So you could add fishing, but add some kind of stamina bar or like a giant fish that comes and eats you, and then you can respawn back to the main island. That would be awesome.
sure, yeah, shark that swims around that you can't swim from this island to the next one, and then you have to actually
Edge.
achieve and get the boat to get across to the next place. I think that would be a really good transition.
I'm next level fishing. I'm fishing from the top of the tree.
That's how I always fish.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Visuals are amazing.
Oh yeah.
Teach me how to play a little bit more. But when I. All right, next. Johan Angry. And we are here. Johan's here, yeah? I don't see a Johan. So must maybe
yes, I'm here.
it. Oh, hello, I do. I see and hear a Johan. How are you today, bud?
Good.
Good, good. Oh wait, this is not Johan's. There we are. All right, we got Truckin' summon me to be an alchemist. Truckin' summon me to be an alchemist. Is there a meaning behind the title? What
I think
is
it's Truck-kun, like Japanese, I think, right?
Oh, is
Yes,
it truck?
based on the isekai
There you go.
animes.
Aha. Okay, that means that's why I don't know. Okay.
What does kun
Okay.
mean again? I'm not sure.
All right. I noticed that right off the bat we have a loading screen, which I don't see for very long. However, like Alex has demonstrated before, if we go over here and we refresh, this player is going to be greeted with a nice loading screen, and he knows that the game is actually loading. Although I would actually add a percentage bar or something here to make this screen look a little bit pleasing, which kind of your truck is actually your loading bar. So not terrible load times there. I'd say 10, 12 seconds. Oh, okay. I know what I'm playing now. Okay. This is the Z fighting game, which, by the way, he fixed. Welcome, chosen alchemist. Collect your ingredients and brew the legendary potion to defeat the demon lord. All right. Oh, I have to move with. We seem to have a problem here. I can jump, but I can't move. WASD. Oops, sorry. This is why I don't talk and play. 1 second.
Should be WASD.
Yeah, that's always my go-to. My fingers are always on WASD, no matter what game I play. And if it's not WASD, then I have a hard time playing. Oh, there it goes. Must have just been a bug. Okay. All right. Welcome, chosen alchemist. Correct the ingredients to brew legendary potions and defeat the demon lord. Okay. Performance seems to be pretty good. I'm wondering how it runs on mobile devices. We got a lot of like individual particles, a lot of different shading, shadows. Let's see. So it wants me to go and collect. I'm assuming that the dots on the map are going to be where I need to go, or at least places of interest. I like your UI. It's nice and uniform at the top of the page. It doesn't really seem to affect what I'm looking at, so that's pretty nice. Let's see. Let's look in our inventory. Can I press I? I can.
The minimap.
See that?
The minimap is new. That
Is it
wasn't there
new?
last time.
I thought it was
Oh,
there.
yeah,
But...
no. Because
M should bring up a bigger map. Nope. Okay. E for encyclopedia. Yep. No, E for cauldron. All right. Anyways. So a little bit of tutorial here off the bat. You got your words at the bottom. They're kind of hard to see on mobile devices on how to play. WAS to move, mouse to look, space to jump, F to interact, E for cauldron, I for inventory. So those things were just automatic for me. I kind of knew that I had to hit those buttons. I don't think most people. Let's try to collect some stuff and brew some potions.
On mobile device, it has a different control, so it will have the joystick and other buttons.
Very nice. Is there audio? I should probably turn that on. Nice background music. I'm not seeing anything to pick up to put in the cauldron though.
Did you gather anything? I'm not sure.
I don't know where do I gather.
I'm gonna assume a tree. There's just a lot of them. Can you punch a tree with your fists?
Should I move the chest closer to the
Oh,
corner?
is the chest? Where's the chest at?
You know, is there like a chest up?
Oh, right there.
There it is. Oh, jeez.
Oh, owie. Lava burn. Fire bad.
It's not about bringing the chest closer. It's more about highlighting the chest for the player to pick it up.
Yeah, I have
And
to
if
agree.
you-
Maybe put a yellow arrow or something pointing to it up and down that just kind of moves up and down, or make sure that on the map I can see it. Maybe it's highlighted gold or something that brings my attention to it. Because I was actually looking at your map and I was thinking that the dots is where I needed to go. So to me, that would be more intuitive. Also, putting an arrow over the top of it, kind of going up and down, pointing at it might be a good idea.
Like if the chest is next to the caster, like on its left side, then that alchemist or whatever he is, I think
Yeah,
that's
just-
fine too.
I agree with you. It still doesn't scream, "Hey, open me," though.
You need like
So-
sparkles. It's either an arrow that's obvious, a god ray, some sparkles, or high contrast.
Because I was looking for berries or fruits or something on the ground that I was supposed to be collecting. Not going to a chest. To me, a chest is more storage than it is collecting. I mean, it was perfectly fine how you did it there. I don't mind the chest. Just make sure that I know that, hey, stupid, come over here and open this.
Did the quest say go pick up the chest? I didn't. But yeah, Tox is right.
Okay, potion is ready. Who do you... Oh, I'm going to drink it.
Oh, you're a monkey. Damn.
Ooh. Oh, okay. That potion worked, but not enough to defeat the demon lord. Okay, so I guess what I'm doing here is preparing myself to fight the boss. So now I'm like one step closer, I feel like I'm bigger. But now I need to brew more potions. And so now I'm also in the same position I was originally. What do I do now? And I'm sure now, since you pointed out that I need to open up a box, my thought process is I need to go find another box. Also, now that I'm bigger, I feel like I'm moving slower. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say you brought up a valid point last time for a different game. You said that when the camera intersects with different collisions, try to ask Astro if she can politely just make them.
Yeah, to me this is
disable their
jarring.
alpha. Yeah.
You can do that,
Make
or
them
you can also
semi-transparent.
You can do
All right.
that, and there's another thing too that you can do as well is you can add a spotlight effect where when the camera goes in front of something, it simply cuts a hole out and you can see through it. There's a couple different ways you can do it though. But don't instantly change the camera view. I played a couple of games where it instantly changes, and to me it's quite jarring and almost immersive breaking. And I closed your game. I'm sorry, I will one day fix this so that this is not a problem. So yeah, I think that's where this is at. I think the quality is nice. I think that the visuals are really cool. I would maybe want a little bit more juice from the cauldron when I create a potion. Maybe some more magical effects and some particle effects. Maybe more swirling of the potion as it comes out, or something to that effect. Maybe it falls out. It does its little visual pleasure thing, and then kind of pops out and hits the ground and spins around in a circle for the player to pick up. Make it very obvious where the player needs to go to collect his ingredients, because that's your main mechanic and you don't want that to be confusing. So make sure that's very, very apparent where the player needs to go each step of the way, or which part of the map he needs to look at or go to find those set ingredients. If the loop is find ingredients, brew the potions, get better, and then destroy the boss, I think that needs to be a little bit more clear too. It started to become clear to me, but I think that you can make it a little bit more clear to the player.
It's not natural to loot chests, but if you want the player to do that as a gameplay, we're perfectly fine with it. I think it's just a
Well-
matter of fact of
I don't mean
making sure the player
to.
understands it.
I don't mean to go against what you say there. I think it is natural to open up chests. It's just in a setting like this, it feels more like storage to me. But if I'm in a dungeon and I
Yeah.
see a chest, I'm going to that
Yeah.
chest.
If I'm gonna brew a potion, I'm thinking like legs of frogs or like
Yes,
berries
absolutely.
or like
I am.
twigs.
Precisely. Yep. And I'm thinking I'm coming
Yeah.
back and putting all those in that box possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think
Yeah.
it's a little bit more clear what the main mechanic and yeah, I accidentally restarted the game. You all know me. A little bit
chest
clearer on the main mechanic, clearer on the game loop. Give me a little bit of a tutorial.
Cool.
Cool.
I got the other game open, and we're gonna be able to look at how quickly it loads, and Toxic here might be able to explain to me what I'm seeing.
Yeah, let me close my screen here. There you go. Now you got permission. Can we
Thank
unmute
you.
Alex yet? Is he available to speak now? Or
Alex is in prison still.
let's see what he has to say. Alex, you there? Still hanging out?
He's
No,
still lagging.
Alex is like,
He's-
these guys got it. He went out for lunch.
No. He's trying to speak. His little speech bubble lights up, but nothing comes out. His voice.
Yeah,
is
that's
lost,
just the
apparently.
fan in the room blowing on his microphone.
Okay. Let me load it with the thing. So I'm seeing 4, 5, 6, 7, but I can still play it though. I can still.
Yeah, you're always going to see stuff loading, especially with lazy loading. So the biggest thing is being able to click those buttons, letting them respond, and getting you into the game. I've had a few games sent back because I didn't add a loading bar, and most people thought that my game was broken because of my load times.
You know what? QA from Astro should warn users before allowing their game to pass that they don't have any loading. That would be interesting. Okay, there's a lot of control. I'm gonna assume that it's WASD left click, a couple space bar, E and S and C's and V's. All right. I'm not reading all of this.
So as Alex would say, there's too much text, a wall of text. I ain't gonna read it.
Absolutely. Is this Pika's game?
This is, I think, High Quality, and Pika had started to collab on this.
Gotcha. Right. So
Maybe I'm
A
wrong.
and B.
Maybe no. Their game was the one with the Lamborghini. Whose game is this one? Yeah, I see. I know Pika. I get you. Pika Suez. This is Whimsical's game, right?
Gotcha. Because it looks similar.
So I gave feedback on this the other day, and my feedback was, you got a long tutorial about going to coffee shops and going to the airports and that kind of stuff, but the game is Grand Theft Auto, and I feel like the main mechanic is stealing cars, running from police, and killing people. And so I would have liked to have seen more emphasis in the beginning about how that works versus going and getting coffee and that kind of stuff.
Mm.
So I'm
When
curious.
I first started the game, I pressed WASD and A and D rotates, but right click and left click, holding right click with the mouse and doing that does the same thing. So I thought I would be strafing instead. Just a small little thing. I want to talk to Marco for sure. He's the cool guy at the fountain. Still energy, keep going. The city has much more to remember. Coffee, arcade, and people. 3 pillars of city life. Thank you, Marco. You are awesome. I am glad to have met you. Best friend? Question mark?
Also, I felt on this game too that there was too much typing and too much talking. And so I noticed that a lot of his NPCs, or all of his NPCs, had an LLM attached to them. And I just thought simply that it was too much, and that I had actually given feedback that maybe reduce, except for the main characters, the LLM, and just give them predetermined text that you can click.
I like to try to break the LLMs to see how far the fantasy has been worked on.
Did he give you all his
I-
money?
No, he didn't. He doesn't know what I mean. I think that the question the person needs to ask themselves is LLM necessary for my game, or is it just a good to have tool? Because Grand Theft Auto with an LLM, you might be thinking ahead. It might be interesting. GTA 6 isn't out yet, but it might be what they're gonna do. Who knows?
Well, my biggest question
But-
kind of here too is that when you started the game and you were presented with the whole Grand Theft Auto screen, do you feel like you're playing Grand Theft Auto right now, or do you feel more like you're just kind of playing a sim game?
I'm definitely feeling like I'm gonna get murdered by the cars. So it's like Frogger, but yeah, there's a little bit of that sim game. Nothing about Grand Theft Auto screamed at me when I launched this game. Now I have to. How do I access the? How do I access the quest thing at the bottom? I have to press the Windows key. Go to the.
So I would like to point out as well while you're playing this that if you make your thumbnail and you promise me certain something with a thumbnail, and then the player gets into the game and he doesn't feel that that is being communicated, or when he gets into the game he doesn't feel that he is in the same environment that he signed up for when he hit that play button, you could be in for a high 30-second playtime because they think that they're getting in to play this and then they're presented with something else. Not saying that what you're presenting here is not good. I'm just thinking that it's a little confusing because I'm thinking I'm playing Grand Theft Auto. And maybe it gets into that, and maybe it gets intense, but in the very beginning, I don't think the time to fun is there.
No, you're correct. I thought I was going to play a top-down Minecraft style or voxel style like shooter, but it turns out it's some kind of sim life walking. I guess he's trying to tutorialize things like purchasing things and things like that. But how about you just jump us into a mission that is worth the Grand Theft Auto, your thumbnail?
Whimsical, do you want to talk? Do you want to get on stage and explain a little bit? Or maybe you can explain a little bit in chat, because I don't want your game to be received the wrong way. But I do want to make sure that we point out, the major things that are in it. It's never to bash anybody or anything like that. And I am a big fan of negative feedback, because that is the best feedback that you can possibly get. Whimsical, don't be shy. Is he still here?
If
All right,
this was
well-
just so if this was just a walking simulation of doing a bunch of things in the city, I would be sold. Like I love the amount of work that's been put in to make the city feel alive. I like all the different locations, the fact that you're instancing into them. I like that you can buy things. I can't wait to play something on the arcade machine. It is a game within a game. That's so awesome. So if your game was just, you're living your life and then things happen and you're adjusting as you go, I think that already you succeeded at that. If your game or your intention was about fighting, shooting, murdering, and things like that, then I think that's a completely miss and swing. But
I would redo your thumbnail, redo the name of your game. Don't change your game to fit Grand Theft Auto because you're already so far into it, and just kind of make this like a life sim game, I think.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
And I think that you could market it a little bit better, and then it would do a little bit better because players would kind of understand what kind of game that they're getting into. Because this right here reminds me a lot of Shenmue, I'm not sure if you guys know what that is. I'm old, but anyways, it was an old game.
Dreamcast, Chinmo.
And it
Yes.
was a fighting game, but it wasn't just a fighting game. It was an adventure game because you could go to the noodle shop and buy food. You can go to the bar and do karaoke, and you can go to the arcade and play all the arcade machines that Sega had made. And so I feel that this feels a lot more like that. It's more of a sim than it is a Grand Theft Auto game.
It's also a tech demo if you think about it. It's like look at what Astro can do, and
Yeah, it's got a lot of
how
systems.
deep. Yeah, like how deep you can go into the rabbit hole and just stack things on top of one another.
All right. So, you have anything else on this? I don't think
10 out of
anybody else
10.
did. 10 out of 10. All right.
Thank you.
All right. We have Momoko coming up next, and I think that she had messaged me and she didn't understand the feedback. But thanks to Pika, he is recording all of these. She was able to go back and put on captions and actually hear or see everything that I said. So, curious to see what she has going on here now. So here we are.
As per typical 3 p.m. tradition, Toxic, it's been my pleasure. I'll catch you tomorrow.
You bouncing out? All right, I'll finish these up. No worries, and I appreciate the support like always.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Oh, I see what Momoko did here. She uploaded a GIF for her game, and although I think it is cute and I think it is awesome, I'm starting to see the front page fill up with more and more of these, and I think it's going to be a matter of time before we don't have these anymore. I don't think this was ever an intention of Astrocade to ever let us put GIFs on the front page, but as Alex has supported it and promoted it, we now have a lot. So don't be surprised if these do go away. So. All right, definitely got to unmute this because we're in a club. Watch me. Same color equals dancing. Different colors equals fights. Miss monsters go to the bar. Where'd my bar go? I feel like I had a bar right here.
Oh, bar is inside. You don't see for the moment.
Okay. Shoot through the top gap. Okay. Monsters are moving, match them. Going 3 more. One more. Now let's enter the club. Okay, so these are all the guys that I matched. Get the troublemakers off. Some color columns equals. I think your tutorial is going a little fast for me to keep up. All the same colors as a super color. Am I done? Send it. One more, upgrade your club. Watch me swap. Swap the fighters off the floor. Try swapping. Move the fighters out and the dancers in. But I don't have any fighters. So who do I move in?
I has moved already in the show.
Say it again. Sorry, the music was loud.
No, that the Astrocade has moved already. And the show movement has moved the only fighter who was inside. So no more fighter. This movement you can do.
Okay, well the tutorial is actually telling me though to move the fighters out, so I think that's a little confusing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Try swapping the dancers. So we're trying to make pairs, so that would be a pair. We got a combo. And then we need to move this in here as well. And now we have a full line. I can move this guy in. No. Why would I want to do that? So we go back there. So what do I do from here? Oh, okay, I got it. A small neighborhood club. All right, let's party. I think your guys are squishing vertically when I pull back, and I feel like I want them to squish horizontal. Or yeah, go ahead.
I think in this game, music is part of the game.
Oh, I do too. I just want to hear your feedback, though, is the only thing, and this is really loud. I think audio is a big part of every game. And I
Yeah.
think those that play games without music are missing out on part of the atmosphere. But sometimes it's hard to do that and review at the same time. Okay, doors are opening. Here we go. No. All right, so right there again, the performance drops really bad.
It's finished. You have limited movements there.
Okay, so this is very clear still. And I think that the problem that we had last time was that this was a little confusing. And why I think that your dance floor is now a little bit more clear on what to do. I think that your tutorials went by so fast while I was trying to read them that I wasn't actually able to fully understand what was going on. And so I think that what would be best there is instead of letting Astro do the full tutorial, I think that you need to allow the player to interact with the tutorial and complete steps before moving on to the next one. That way the player actually is forced to do the movement and they actually understand what they're doing or why they're doing it. The
Yeah.
auto one, although I thought was visually pleasing to me, and I liked how you put it together, without the player interacting, it is still kind of a wall of text. Even though it's not a wall, you are presenting me with a lot of information and it's auto playing. And I just forget it. It's the only problem. I forget what I'm supposed to be doing. And maybe I have
You have a button on top to remember. Yeah, this.
okay. I think so. And while I appreciate this, I think that if you're having to do all this extra stuff to get the point across, then I think that it's not efficient enough. You really want your tutorials to be short, sweet, but very to the point. And so I think that you've broken it up so many times that I'm still confused, right? So,
Yeah.
and I hate telling you that because I know it's frustrating because you've kind of been getting the same feedback multiple times. And I think that you're getting there step by step, but I think there's still some stuff pulling it away. So, is there a way for me to actually get the tutorial back? Is this persistently saved, or will I be able to do the tutorial again? Okay, so it's persistently saved. So yeah, I'm sorry to give you the same feedback. I do think that you're a little bit further along. I understand a tiny bit more. Slow the text down. Allow me to perform the actions instead of letting Astro do it for me. And I think that maybe that would fix the problem.
Okay. I have added some new elements from level 3, like
Okay.
like a vendor which is selling like sunglasses, and you can ricochet, bounce with, I don't know, rebotar,
Okay. Well, here, let me see
bounce
if I can get there real
with
quick.
that.
So that's all great and everything, right? But if the player's not getting to level 3, that
Yeah,
stuff is almost, not
yeah,
non-existent.
yeah,
And
yeah.
while I do appreciate that part of it, I think that the most confusing part is the beginning of the game and what's going on here.
And
I've
maybe
almost got it now. I know yellow needs to go down here. I need to make that match. This guy needs to get over here. And then that's where I would stop at. Right? Am I right?
yeah,
Okay, so after playing it over, a few times, I'm starting to understand it more. But I think the average player well, I don't think. I know the average player will probably be confused there.
yeah.
Also, I think I told you last time, when I start here, everything is gray, and even though I can afford it, it's still gray. It makes it look like I can't buy it.
Yeah, it's in gray, the only thing that you can buy it because you have the level or the money.
Right. Oops. See if I can get to level 3 real quick. Hey, Whimsical. Yeah, we reviewed your game. I think you were AFK. Level 2 is quite long. So I feel like I should already be done with level 2 as well, so maybe the pacing of the game needs a little bit. Oh, you give me all these yellows. Holy crap. All right, there we go. All right, level 3. Okay, so what's going on here? Is this the vendor Momoko?
Yeah, this will bounce with the seller.
Oh. What is his purpose?
Well, if you found that seller, you will not arrive the party. You will stop with him, buy some glasses, and will be an obstacle to make more difficult.
I
And
see,
it
okay.
was applied in side tooth schema.
Okay, so he's more of an obstacle than anything. Okay, I think that's cool. I think that you're going to want to show this to the player a little bit sooner. So I think the pacing needs to be a little bit quicker. I think level 1, I need to be able to complete it almost twice as fast. I think each level I need to be able to complete twice as fast.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
So
kind of where I'm... Sorry, what was that, Momoko?
I can simplify, or I can just leave it in a shooting game.
Yeah, well, I think that maybe your first round needs to be 30 seconds. Each round should be about 30 seconds because I think it's just too long and it takes the
Okay.
player too long to get there. So maybe try reducing the amount of time per level, making your tutorial for the dance floor a little bit clearer, and making the players take steps, step by step, to learn how to play. But don't overcomplicate it to where you have too many steps.
Or maybe I can introduce the tutorial in different levels.
You could
I
do
mean,
that too, pace it out on each level.
like, for example, first level is only few people in the dance floor, so you don't need to match too much. You don't need to take people from the bar because you can pair the people from the bar, the alone people. So has some sense to shot in the gap the people, so can enter in the bar and you have the correct color you can match again. So explain is very difficult, but maybe making in each level.
I don't think that your levels are difficult. I think that the amount of time the players are spending on it is too long, and I think that some of the mechanics aren't quite clear enough. Otherwise, I don't think it's too hard.
Okay. Okay.
All right. And of course, you could always message me whenever.
Well, thank you very much. I will see how I can modify.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Of course. Samsung. Spearbound. Later, Sturm. If you're not already gone.
I'm
Yeah,
here.
Samsung. But I needed Samsung. Have we got this backwards? Is this your game, Samson?
Yeah,
Or they
Spearbomb.
just
That's my
call you?
game. That's my
they
new
just-
game.
Okay, they just call you Samsung because
Yep.
it's similar. Okay,
People love to call me Samsung.
All right, I got you. You might need to change your name. Spearbound, collect all the gems and shatter the spear. Ooh, all right. Space. Wait, what? Space up, space again, or air. What? Oh, okay, okay. Whoa, what the? Okay, this is like in a big like spear thing here. Okay, can I roll? I can't. Okay. This is interesting. It's a little hard for me to tell where my ball is going to land because I'm having an issue with finding myself in the 3D space because I don't really have anything to compare to, and I don't have any shadows or anything, so I don't really know where everything is relative to me in the world space. And am I supposed to be landing on these platforms? Oh, they shoot me up or something? Okay. Oh, gravity has been reversed. Okay, so it's a little disorienting. I feel like maybe if it wasn't wired frame, I would be able to feel where I'm at in the world because then with having a solid like sphere like inside of it rolling around, I would then be able to add shadows and stuff like that and be able to tell. But right now, I'm having a real difficult time figuring out the distance between me and that object in front of me and how high I'm going to jump. But I like this concept. I've literally never seen this before.
Yeah, that's what I loved about it. I'm still experimenting how to make it easier for people to navigate around.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that I'm kind of
Yeah.
missing here, and I'm also kind of not understanding what I'm supposed to do. I have a counter at the top of the screen, which is telling me that I need to do something with the gems, right? I don't have enough
Yeah.
gems, so I need to collect 15 more. So I'm assuming that when I collect those, I go on to the next level.
Yeah.
But then I notice that we're getting combos, and the combos I'm assuming add to the score, right? So the
Yeah,
higher the combo, the
combos.
higher the score.
And you can do double jump.
I've seen that, yeah. So you gave me a little bit of a world change. I think the transition between the levels could be a little bit better. Sorry, 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Tinker Arena had this really cool transition where you go from like one level and you fly out and you go into the next level. And I played a couple other games that have some really cool transitions. And with these kind of games, with the Tron look or the wireframe look, I think it's real easy to do that. So I think maybe that's an opportunity for you there too.
Okay.
But this is a little confusing here. Up, space, or space, jump again
Yeah.
equals. Like that's like
I
a
can
lot
see
of
that.
there's a lot of complicated like characters that I'm trying to make sense in my mind. So maybe just simply say, press space to jump, or press space 2 times to jump, and then
Yep.
don't get rid of that screen until the player has jumped 2 times,
Okay.
and then it disappears, and then you go on to the next one. Collect the orbs, and then you start collecting gems. Excuse me, and I close your game. I'm real sorry for that. I will address this. Also, if maybe my ball felt like it was rolling, if you gave the ball some texture, and you were actually able to see the ball like actually rolling,
Rolling.
right? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe some scratches or some kind of something like that, and then I would feel that I have more of a like of a ball and not so much of a floating bouncing orb, because that's kind of what I feel like. And again, with no shadows, like I expect right now the shadow to get bigger and smaller underneath of it, and so I feel that world space. So
I
uh,
see.
that's my biggest thing here. Very, very unique game. I would think that if you could make this a little bit more fun, this would be really, really cool.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at there. Cool transitions between the world. Maybe mess
Yeah.
around with not using a wireframe. Maybe use a solid spear, or maybe not. Maybe it doesn't work that well. Combos
I
need to be more satisfying. You
okay.
got anytime you pick up a combo and you start to increase in combo size, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of like I said with Nosmo's game, where he was making the connections. Each time I got a higher connection, so from 2 to 4, from 4 to 8, from 8 to 16. Each step of the way, it makes it a little bit prettier or a little bit more visual reward. So when you're hitting your combos, the first combo was just meh. Second combo was like, ah. Third combo was like, wow. And the fourth combo was like, holy crap. And so you're able to keep that and you get that reward, that spark of dopamine released in the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, nifty, man. Cool. Let me know how this goes. Send me a DM when you get some stuff updated here.
Okay. Thank you.
Always. And then we give you a heart. All right. Next up. Oh, well, we don't need to see this, guys. He's already done. And no, I'm kidding. High quality. High quality. Neon Overdrive. I played this yesterday. What has changed, high quality? What have you added? Or what did you change based off of your feedback? And also, let's give this the old disable cache, refresh. Nice. Super fast. Instantaneous fast. Let me click really quick too and make sure it goes straight to the game. Look at that. Wow. Okay, cool. You have no loading issues. High quality ain't here. All right. Well, we'll finish doing his review because you can watch the video afterwards. All lanes are blocked. There's high quality. I'm playing your game right now, sir. So if you made any changes or based off of feedback, or you added anything, let me know. I like this. Is this new? The stars coming forward on the screen. Where's my music at though? Is it because I clicked too fast? Sometimes that will happen. You click too fast and it won't load certain files. Yep, that's what it was. Sometimes that'll happen with lazy loading. And this game needs music. I'm expecting my background to change soon. Looks like it did. I didn't hear you. But why don't you let me know what you've changed? So I know what I'm looking for here. I noticed that the backgrounds of the levels have changed a bit. I love the star effect that you did. That is way better than everything else you had before. It gives more of a 3D feel. Hey, I don't think your high scoreboard is working. Or maybe it's just not reporting here. Okay, there I am. So your in-game scoreboard don't seem to be working, or maybe it doesn't show until after I hit restart and die again. I've seen that before too. So this is kind of in the same spot that it was yesterday, but I do think that it does have a little bit more subtle features that I noticed. I think that it was looking much better. The gameplay is smooth. Your tutorial in the beginning is well done. I don't think that you need to add anything else onto your high quality. I think it's time to push this game and move on to your next one. And let her fly. And she's either gonna sail majestically and fly through the air, or crash and burn. But I think you got a good chance with this one. So is it published? Because I notice I'm the only one on the high scoreboard, so that tells me that it's probably not published yet. All right. Hey, Alyab. Alyabdi. Nice, cool. Well, let me know high quality as soon as you get some metrics on that. I'd love to see it because I think that that might be one of the better games that you've created, or maybe even the best game that you've created on the platform. So I expect it to do pretty well. All right, Weed Whacker Dash. And I will have to actually call it after this one today. Games that are in submit your game, I'm going to go through them anyways. I'm actually the first one on there, but I don't really want to review my own game. So I will review those later today as well. I have a lot of games to review today. All right, so Weed Whacker Dash, level 1, novice. Don't need to have this on here. We know that we're going to level 1. A shop should always be in the game. If it is in the game and on the main menu as well, then that's perfectly fine. Although I don't think that you need a shop from the main menu. It should all be done in game. So here we go. Let's take a look real quick. Shop. Ooh. I like the visuals. I'm actually already looking forward to getting this one, the Industrial Beast. How do I get out of your menu? Okay, so here's one thing you don't want to do. Do not put your back button at the bottom of your menu if you're going to make me scroll. The close button should always be here in the upper right-hand corner, little X, and as I scroll, it stays on the screen in the same position. So at any time I can close this out and you're not forcing me to search for a close button. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, that happened very quick and very sudden. Let's see here. Play again. All right, so for a moment here, I'm just going to look, right? This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that we got some cool backgrounds. I'm seeing that you got some awesome grass effects. I mean, it looks really good. But then we got this like thing spinning in the guy's hand, and I just don't understand what's going on there. So completely remove that. You've already got it in his hand, and you're already moving. And I'm thinking that the reason why you did this is because you only have one asset for your character. And seems how you only have one asset, well, he has the Weed Eater in his hand. And so when you go to upgrade, the only way that you can or show the player that he's upgraded is by changing this image. And so what I would do is I would create multiple images of my character in the same position, each using each Weed Eater that you have. Or what I would do, this is more of like a belittle thing, I actually learned this from him, is I would generate my character in this exact stance with no Weed Eater in their hand. And then what I would do is I would then create Weed Eaters that I could overlay onto him. So that instead of changing out the background image each time, you're then just changing out the Weed Eaters. Because this to me is very funky. say the least. All right, so I get it. I got to jump over obstacles. This really teeters on the edge of being very rewarding to watch, but at the same time, very distracting because of this thing that's spinning around. When I'm going over the grass, it's very rewarding looking at the feel of it. It's really ASMR kind of. I wish maybe that when I was weed eating, I could see the grass kind of break up and fall onto the ground instead of just instantly disappearing. I'm not sure if he does this intentionally or not, but we have parallaxing going on in the background. So we have houses in the background that are moving at a different rate of speed on a different layer than the trees, and the fence in the front. And it gives a cool 3D effect. I'm not sure about this white strip on the top of your fence. I would probably remove that. And your fence looks like maybe it's stretched out a little bit too much and the planks are a little too wide. But the background effect is super cool. When the player oh, my game just froze, actually. But when the player is above and jumping, he should not be cutting the grass. It shouldn't cut anything, and then when he lands, wherever he lands, that chunk of grass should come out. And whatever he didn't hit behind him should remain there and maybe make the player go back and finish it up or just continue going. My game has froze. See if I got an error. Oh, I can't even open it. There it is. And I don't have any errors, so I don't really know what happened. This probably has nothing to do with the game. So yeah, you got an issue here. We need to figure that part out. Freezing. Visual reward. Grass is really good. UI is could be refined more, but I do like the position that it's in. Not really sure what this is down here or why this is necessary. Also, at the bottom of the screen, you have a lot of negative space. This big area here. And since how you are on a sidewalk kind of ish, I feel like maybe you should put some yellow lines in the road and maybe have traffic every once in a while pass in front of the player. And that would give more of that 3D effect that you've already got going on. But yeah, I think this game is teetering on the edge of being really fun, but it has some distracting elements that you need to get rid of to achieve that. Do you have anything that you would like to say, or do you have anything that I need to know, or maybe something I'm not quite understanding? It doesn't have a tutorial. What are we sharing all these Donald Trump for? What's going on here? My name is Donald, so I'm not sure if this is in a reference to me. Oh yeah, look at that. He is scared. Poor kid. I'd be afraid too. So yeah, did you have anything, Alia, that you wanted me to look at, or did you want me to know anything, or? Definitely fix the freezing issue. That needs to be the most important thing right now before anything else. Figure out why my game is freezing up. After Academy joke. Well, he's scaring too many people. There's still 22 people in the room, so I only think a couple people have left. Nice. And again, if you guys have any kind of questions or you need to know a little bit more on the feedback that I've given, you guys can always hit me up and be like, hey, what did you mean by that? Or, hey, I changed this. Can you take a look? I can't guarantee that I can get to it right away, but I can guarantee you I can get to it before the next Academy class. So definitely don't hesitate to hit me up, or anybody else that's here in the Academy. Teacher-wise, Pika as well, Sturm, Knox, Alex, me. All right. Well, that'll do it for me today. I will be in the lounge later today to test out more games that we're in to submit your games. Yeah, thank you everybody for being here. Appreciate it, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care now. disconnect quietly. I've never seen it